Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wise Underdogs channel. Welcome back to the second episode of the interview with the Wise Underdogs pioneers. Today, we're going to deep dive into the stories of people, of individuals who have overcome difficult paths in their life only to rise stronger and transform other people's lives as well. So I'm thrilled today to announce and introduce my dear friend, Jaconia, who is trailblazing the fashion industry with her Jua Models agency, who has done a lot of deep personal work with herself. You'll see her stories, you'll see her philosophy, her wisdom, and her just like gems of statements of life that will hopefully inspire us and really help us change and transform for the better. All right, welcome to the show, Jaconia. So in your own words, how would you describe your story? How would you introduce yourself to the audience today?
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Jaconia. I am from Brazil. And if I would like to translate who am I would say that I am a director of my own life story, where I am capable of transforming everything I can into the life that I deserve. I consider my life story as a tale. And with all the tales, there is always a little drama, but it's not really about what happened to you, but how you are going to tell this story to everyone.
Okay, so director of your own tale. So I'm really curious about this tale, but at least we know that Jaconia, it's a model, and you're from Brazil.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit more about your story and your journey as a model?
I started modeling 20 years ago. It was always my dream since I was a child. I have always had this security that I will be able to do whatever I was dreaming about in my childhood. And now I also have my own mother agency. It's a modeling agency which focuses on the preparation of the model to prepare the model to the big markets internationally. So this is what I do.
Wow. So not only you are a model, but you're also a manager of models, basically,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So tell us more about your story of becoming a model and managing other models. Like, what is Joa Models agency, and what makes you different from the other agency out there, for example?
Our difference is that we focus on the development, not only for the models to be ready to be in the catwalk, but in the catwalk of life. Love themselves, focus on getting to know themselves, because it's a career that demands a lot. As any other career, I will not say that modeling has an exceptional path, but it is a career that requires for you to be fully great about yourself. And most of the time, models don't feel this way. It's incredible that in a world where we have the most beautiful men and women, there is such a lack of confidence. And with me was not different. Like when I start to pursuing modeling in my dreams, I was so secure about that until the first time that I tried to pursue an agency and I found out that it was short. And that for me was a shock, because in my 11 years old mind, a model was a model. I was already one, you know, like all the photo shoots that I was doing in my city with my friends was already like a big thing. And then I faced that, and I could just go back and say, okay, that is not for me. Everybody's saying that I am short, but I was short just as life is. So I start to embrace what I could get from this profession. I'm talking about 20 years ago, where this type of hair, this skin tone wasn't as trendy as it is now.
Yes.
So looking back on time, I was always trying to accomplish my dreams and going with the flow, even when the flow was not taking me to the direction that I wanted immediately.
Wow. Okay. I'm really curious about what you just told me. So take us back to that 20 years ago. As you said, back then, being black with curly hair, short, was not trendy, and now probably it is a trend, right? Like everybody's trying to be inclusive, trying to be diverse in their industry, in whatever industry you are in. So, because in the Wise Underdogs, we really value transformations. We really value love and authenticity and empowerment, and through that we find healing as well. Can you can you share with us your experience with these emotions of like being black, being a woman, and being from Brazil, being with this curly hair? Like, what is the story behind it? What is the tale that you want to tell us the story in the drama, you know?
Growing up, I had to face a death and abandonment at such an early age. And I feel that everything that happens to you when you are young, it kinds of make you stronger. It's not that you are like trying to escape everything, but in a way, it empowers you. I like to say that necessity teaches more than university. So when you
teaches more than university. Wow. Okay. Wow, that's very profound. Necessity teaches more than university. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is that?
Like when facing the abandonment of my dad, followed by the death of my mom, I had the first time that I had like a knowledge of that I had a voice inside my head guiding me, because this is what I believe, that our intuition is guiding us, is preparing us for life. And at that moment, I was like, wow, I was seeing my mom in the coffin, and I was like, okay, that is the only certainty that I have of my life.
Which is death.
It's death.
Wow. Okay.
That's the only thing that we can be sure about. I don't know if I will be successful. I don't know if my business will work. The only thing I know is that I'm going to die. So if I'm going to die, that was 9 years old. Don't ask me how it came into my head.
So you were 9 and you already had that insight. I'm going to die.
That's why necessity teaches you more than university.
She's very deep already. This is why we come up with this phrase, necessity is
yeah. So I think it was like the feeling, okay, this is my life right now. I'm facing everything. I could just be like, oh, the poor kid, like pick this avatar of a victim.
The victim mindset.
Where I blame everyone and I'm a poor girl left alone. And I say, okay, so I'm going to die one day. So let's make my life worth living. No, let's enjoy everything that it's here for me. So whenever those situations were coming like, hey, we don't like your hair. Your skin is too dark. I remember going to a place where they were giving me soap to lighten up my skin. Wow. And I know I'm not that dark. But
that's so racist.
But this is the thing. I took everything with, okay, you know, it is what it is. I had this idea of that, okay, it is happening here. I should not give the power to everyone to determine how I feel. How can someone that has like different values than me have like power on me? Like if someone say, we don't like you because you have a dark skin. Sorry, we don't like you because you have a dark skin. That should not affect me. Because sometimes I don't like people, not because of their skin, but everybody is here and able to have their opinions. But I feel that what hurts more is like when you put yourself in the position of a victim. I'm not saying that you should just accept everyone with the lack of, love.
Yeah.
So that's why you hate when you are like discriminating people and all that. But instead of looking at, oh my God, this person is very bad, I prefer to look at this person as, okay, she's in need of love.
Wow.
Maybe
so
my attitude towards them can be like, okay, I'm here to give you the love that you need. I will not respond to you, but I will smile to you, and maybe this smile will plant a seed. Imagine someone harming you, like doing bad things to you, and all you can give is what you have. And in my case, I only have love. So I will give all that I can, all that I am.
Wow. Maybe you should be a prophet, right? So, Jaconia, like you basically turn hate into love, right? But also a lot of times the underdogs of society, when they are like different, when they're being discriminated, when they're being marginalized, they feel shame and they feel a little bit insecure because they don't fit in, they don't belong. Like, how do you transmute that feeling of potential shame? Like sometimes shame comes also from outside. It doesn't come from us. I think it's in your story, you don't feel ashamed of yourself, but people put their shame on you. And how do you transmute that insecurity and shame in your life?
Oh, thank you. That is a great question. I have to think about it. I feel that I have been always an observer. You know, like growing up, I grew up with all these things. It gave me time to be by myself a lot. So when you let a child being by itself, it can be really a great experience, because as I was most of the time by myself, I was capable of developing my authenticity, my identity, perhaps faster. And this gave me security. I was in my own world, you know, and I believe that if it exists in my imagination, it can be part of my creation. So when I was like dreaming about having the life that I have right now, back in the days, and people were like making fun of me. Some people thought that I had like mental problems because I was affirming all this that I live today.
Wow.
So I never really let it affect me, because when they were like saying, you're this, you're that, and I was like, wow, this is not happening in my imagination.
So people call you delusional, but you're like, no, I'm living my reality.
Exactly.
And you're manifesting it. Okay,
and I was manifesting it. Of course it hurts, you know, like imagine like I was going, now I'm a model, like I have been doing like things where because of my beauty, and I was bullied my entire life. And this is crazy, because I was bullied and I was the kid that was going to be part of all the art projects, like have a covers of Spice Girls and things like that.
You can
like
be Melanie B and
you
Spice
know,
Girls.
and people were saying like, okay, you're too skinny, your hair is ugly, your mouth is too big, you're this and that, like saying terrible things about me that I never understood, because I had a mirror. So in my mirror, I couldn't see all that they were saying.
Wow.
So I never let it affect me. I think the secret is to not give power to other people. Everyone would have their opinion. Like my security came from my knowledge of myself.
Right.
Even that there is not an age for you to know yourself. Like if you spend time observing yourself, your environment, I was always like very connected with me. So in this way, it helped me build my security. And I think also when you go through life and you have lots of failures, like people see failures, a bad thing, no? Like I see often, like I work with this young generation, whenever like something goes wrong, they are like, oh my God, the end of the world. And for me, this was kind of empowering me, because each time that it was like things were not going on the way that I wanted, I was like, okay, this is a chance for me to do a little bit better. And trust me, we always can do a little bit better.
Yeah, thank you for that. So what I learned from you is funny, because a lot of children and adults these days, we internalize our parents' belief, our parents' projections and into us, because we want to stay attached. Right? I think there is this concept that Dr. Gabor Mate, who's a psychotherapist, said, children grow up maintaining two things, authenticity and attachment. When their authenticity is being threatened, they will give up their attachment, right? They will not give up. They will maintain their attachment, so they want to stay attached. So if you're being told that you're not authentic, that you cannot be authentic, you will become somebody else to stay attached, right? And it's in your case, you don't have parents to stay attached to. Your dad abandoned you, your mom passed away, so you are alone. So you develop your own attachment to yourself. That's why I think it's probably easier for you to have that authenticity. So that's very interesting to me. I never heard this story before, that like you basically raised yourself up. Like you become your own parent so young. But I'm curious, is there a downside to that? Like having been abandoned or having needed to raise yourself up? Do you think that has a consequences into your life, in your adulthood, or your in relationships, into your professional career? Have you ever wondered how that has affected you?
Can you tell me more?
Yes, as in like, because you didn't grow up didn't grow up with any adults, without any parents.
Yeah.
Like, how has that affected you? I mean, we've seen the good side, which is like, you
Yeah.
don't take anyone's bullshit, but you develop your own authenticity.
Yeah.
But is there a downside to not
Yes,
growing
of
up with any
course. Like,
parents?
especially at the relationships. Imagine, no, like you're also like the freedom. When you give so much freedom for someone, it comes insecurity. No, because imagine there, I remember my friends saying like, your life is amazing. You don't have anyone you can go home at any time. You can do whatever you want. You don't have your parents asking you for anything. And I was like, yeah, this is kind of good for helping me to build my authenticity, but at the same time, too much freedom can make you insecure. So this was the downside of it. So what happened when I was in my early relationships, I was giving all the power to whoever I was with, because I have never been with someone like taking care of me. Of course, I had my relatives, which I'm extremely grateful for, but I never had like this presence where someone is literally with me. And this I have experience with relationships. So whenever I was in a relationship, I was giving all the power to this person.
I see.
And most of the time I was attracting like all my hidden insecurities and the fear and the abandonment that needs time to transcend, to heal. So until then, I was always giving like the permission, like opening up myself for attract people to show me those insecurities. So I will have people that would like to cut my authenticity, to put me in the I don't know how to say in English.
What is it in
jaula?
Jaula.
La jaula. Like always someone like putting me into the cage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for sharing that, right? I mean, that's typical sort of situation scenarios where many underdogs or many people who have been abandoned or have been rejected develop as a coping mechanism, is that they wanted to get the approval of other people, that they go into their life so intimately to feel attached to somebody, to feel belong to somebody, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell us maybe how do you heal all of this? Like the shame, the insecurity, maybe the anger, right? Maybe the resentment towards your parents or to the one who bully you, and to, like be where you are today. Like it sounds to me that you forgive him probably a lot of these people in your life. Like, can you tell us more about your emotional and spiritual transformation?
Yeah, it's been like a long path. Forgiveness, it came first when I understood that I had to forgive myself for expect others give me or attend me with what I wanted.
Forgiving yourself, okay.
Yeah, I think like the whole process, it starts with self-forgiveness, because you like, I always like to think like, were they really bad or they were just different of what I expect?
Wow. Okay, stop. Can you repeat that again? Like self-forgiveness, that's something that we in the community also like to talk about, like forgive ourselves, but maybe you have a different take and perspective about that. So you basically forgive other people and forgive yourself for expecting something from others. Wow.
Yeah, because it's not about, again, how you tell the story. Like there are always like two sides, and you can be like, someone did this to me, like always like putting yourself in the victim. So it's not about them, it's about what I expected. So if I have create this story in my life that, okay, this person should treat me like this, and the person cannot. So who am I to be upset or have the rights of forgiving someone that was just being themselves?
Wow.
Isn't it
it
crazy?
Sounds very
that
spiritual to me. Yeah, but like maybe that's...
So I think the realization of that, and not having attachment, as I think the whole thing was like, okay, we are going to die one day. So the root of my self-knowledge, it came from there. Once you realize that, you accept death as a part of everything. So one day, nothing belongs to me. Even the air that I breathe. inhale and I exhale. So it's not mine.
It's in and out.
Exactly. So nothing belonged to us. And at the same time, everything belonged to us. But the values, what you are experiencing and everything, this is for you to work on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I cannot be like a life of a resentment and like expecting people are just being themselves. We tell everyone, be yourself, but then when people are themselves, we feel that we have to forgive them. You know, like, why? Nobody have done anything to me. But someone did this and it was a terrible thing and it was aggressive and this and that. Yes, I know it's painful, it hurts. I know that it's not easy to get into this mindset. But if you just think about it, and if you go outside, that's why I feel like observation for me was one of the key points in my life. Because when you spend time observing, not judging, observing, because when you watch a movie, you watch a movie, and in this movie, there are like bad things and good things. You laugh, you cry, then you continue with your life. You are not that movie, it killed. No, imagine if we do the same with our lives.
Interesting. Okay.
We go through a situation, something bad happened, you observe as a director. Like, okay, that was a good scene. Okay, that's it. Cut. I will not repeat.
Don't repeat that. Okay, good.
It's done.
But that's interesting because in psychology and coaching, as a coach myself, like I do a lot of coaching and I do a lot of healing and retreats. And then we always say, how do you want to reframe what happened to you? Right? In spirituality, it's not what happened to you, it was happened for you, what happened through you, what happened as whatever. Right? There's so many approaches to see things and to see life events in our life, right? But I think there is a potential sort of, not danger, but potential caution when we immediately reframe. We call it cognitive reframing in psychology. Reframe things as something that has happened to us for a reason. We bypass or we ignore the emotional pain, right? So yes, to reframing things. I also did a lot of reframing in my life for things that bad happened to me. But how do you heal that emotional pain in your body? Like,
I put it out.
You what?
I put it out.
You put it out. So can you tell us more about your healing journey?
Yeah,
my spirituality practice?
My healing journey was, I'm very curious. So I have been through my path. It's been like checking on different paths through religion. At first, I grew up in a Catholic family. So the religion thing was like a big part of my life growing up with this. Then you start to have all these doubts and you are like, maybe this is not the answer. And by trying different paths, I was like finding, like rediscovering myself. Shamanism is a very big part of my life. It's where I get a better idea of the duality, that sometimes what it's burdening you right now, like what it's creating pain to you, perhaps can be something that you have done in another life, in a simultaneous life that we are living here at the moment. So everything is a teaching. So with shamanism, I got this understanding that I am everything. I can be abused and I can be the abuser. So this was my path through shamanism, like reconnecting with my ancestors, with my roots that are not only here, but can be, multidimensional. And also with Theta Healing, which is a practice that I also offer that helps me be not in control, but aware of what is happening on my subconsciousness. And it helps me rewire my brain, the waves and everything. And multidimensionality, because as I say, I'm curious, and all these things like set my soul on fire and makes me search more and look more for it. So it's there are different things. Vipassana is something that I really, really, really like to do. I love to be like in this in the present moment. And someone asked me recently, what is my passion? And I say, I'm passionate about the now. whatever I am doing, this is the most important moment of my life. So I can have voice to speak. The microphone is working. So I'm here with you, be in the now. And there are like, we are so abundant. No, life is so abundant that we have like so many different paths to follow. And I'm not saying that you should do ayahuasca or you should do vipassana, but just listen to your body, what is asking for. Like whenever you are like feeling the guidance that someone come to you unexpectedly, no, it didn't work, comes to you out of nowhere, sharing something with you, if it gives you a curiosity, try. This is what I have been doing. And also observation. I said before and I will say it again, it's the most important thing. When you are observing yourself, like when you are open to get to know yourself, and get to know yourself is not, I am amazing, I'm this, I do this, I do that. No, it's for you to be like, make love with your shadows. I have this problem. Oh, okay, wow, look at me. Like in this situation, I'm finding that I have problem with that. Let's give a little love to that. Let's accept that, because it's part of you.
That's very interesting that you brought that up, because I think a lot of times in the healing world, we always see, oh, it's light and love and all that. But very few people talk about the shadow, the darkness, right? I think in the Underdogs, the Wise Underdog community and journey, we always emphasize the importance of embracing the shadow of ourselves. Like, can you maybe share a little bit more about that? Like, if you don't mind sharing a little bit more vulnerably, or any parts of your shadow that you have successfully maybe integrated into your being?
I think my one thing that I have that I spent years working, it was is a shadow. Like, maybe it cannot be seen as it can be anger, but it can be also like the frustration. Like you get upset because why you end up frustrated, because it's not going as you want. So you are not in the present. So this is something that I have worked like for a while, because I project everything. So when it's not following that, it gives you frustration. So by accepting this frustration, accepting that, oh, hey, sometimes you are not in the moment, okay, I'm good with that. Look, Jaconia, you are not perfect. You have a problem with that. So let's welcome this feeling, this emotion. And instead of trying to heal, because I think like many people always want to heal. But this is part of you, if you, okay, I will delete that. And then you're not
to be fixed about us.
Exactly. And also, like, if you think about like the word ego, most of the time we want to, I need to dissolve my ego and that. But ego, like in Latin is I, no? So it's who we are. Imagine like all these things that we have, like all the shadows and everything. If we don't accept that, it's like not accepting yourself. Have you thought about that? Isn't it crazy that we want to kill parts of ourselves?
Say in spirituality, ego death. Like, you can kill your ego for a moment, right, to humble yourself. But you need ego to survive.
Exactly.
Three-dimensional reality. Right? I mean,
absolutely.
We can talk about 5D, whatever D we can count, but we still live in this planet. We still live in this three-dimensional reality, right? So, Jaconia, maybe now we can talk about your journey as an entrepreneur, as a director, as a founder, right? You are a women founder. This is exactly what we target, or what we like to work with in the Wise Underdogs, is like someone who trailblazed the path, like going against the current, right? As you said earlier. Can you share with us your journey as an entrepreneur, as a founder, and as a model? I mean, you already mentioned your journey by being a model, but being a founder, like what has it been like for you? And what do you teach to these models that you recruit and train in the Joa Models Agency?
It's been like a gift.
Okay.
It's crazy. Like when I was in high school, my grandma made me study to be a teacher. This is what I am. No, this is my formation. I'm a primary school teacher. And at that moment, I was like, oh my God, I hate this. This is not what I want to do, but I had to do because I have to obey And it's crazy how life is constantly preparing you,
Uh-huh.
because back in the days, I didn't want to be a teacher, and now I'm a teacher. I'm orthodox, but I mean, it's a
unorthodox teacher.
Exactly,
Okay.
because this is what I have been doing. Imagine having a 20 years career, traveling all over the world, more than 40 countries, working as a model, when at the beginning everybody said that I couldn't be because of my height, back in the days because of my skin tone and my hair. And to accomplish that is like, wow. And when you accomplish good things, when you make your dreams become true, you need to share with the world. And I always had this passion for, like, my favorite thing in the world is seeing other people succeed and be happy. And so for me, it's like a passion combined with a drive for the change.
Okay.
But I learned with my own experience, like at the beginning when I opened Joe, I was like, okay, I am their mom. I'm going to do everything for them. And this is going to work. And no, I had like to make a few adjustments. So the career as an entrepreneur, it's been like a roller coaster. No, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, sometimes I have imposter syndrome. I'm like, oh my God, this is not going to work. But then I closely watch the development of my girls. I see them growing. I see them thriving, not only in the industry, but personally, which is my goal. Happy people, they don't create problems for the world. So I want everyone to be happy, succeeding, and making money, and living their dreams. And it's been like a journey where I'm still learning. Imagine, like, I start a business without having any idea of how to manage a business. I know about fashion. I know how the industry works, and I know about models because I am one. So it's amazing when you can give the tools for them to succeed. But I also had to respect the time of each person. Even that I have seen it all, even that the situations, even if I started 20 years ago and they are starting now, for the industry, it doesn't have much change. You know, like it's always the same. But what I need to be aware of with my gifts, you know, like being sensitive, seeing the things happening before they do. And this is like something that that I'm still working on. Like, no, shut up. You cannot say that. You need to let the person go through the same, through the path that she's meant to be doing. And this has been the most struggle part, where I should guide, but without like giving the whole path.
I see. Not giving the entire solutions, but you guide these models. Okay. Okay. So there is a component of like empowerment and self-love, right? And sort of resilience into these models that you teach them as like a teacher, as you said, right? And I'm curious, you mentioned imposter syndrome. That's very, very common among us as the underdogs, people who defied obstacles in the path and overcome a lot of things in our life. How do you deal with imposter syndrome? Like, what's your
I
solution?
experience it, you know, like as much as I want to achieve many things in life. And when you work with creativity, you are just like motivated all the time, and you want to do things, and you have tons of ideas. So whenever my imposter syndrome comes, I let it sit with me for a while, which I don't see it as an imposter syndrome anymore. I see it as, okay, time for a break.
Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. So you have an imposter syndrome. He comes or she comes to you, and then she sits next to you.
And we have a tea.
And you have a tea. So that's how you deal with imposter syndrome.
Exactly. I'm like, I take everything that comes as my friend. You know, it's not a bad thing. Before, at the first time that I was experiencing that, I was like, oh my God, what is this? I'm a fraud. I was stalked. And then it came again, because we go back to our rhythm, and then it comes again. And I'm like, okay, thank you for being here, for reminding me that I need to stop. Like the etymology of entrepreneur is adventures. So it's an adventure, but I mean, the Indiana Jones needs a little rest, you know, sometimes.
So I'm curious about that now, because I also struggle with imposter syndrome all my life. I mean, I think it's very common for us, the underdogs, but I think it's just common to any human who's doing things for the first time. They feel like, oh, maybe I don't deserve to be here. Maybe I started this, but I don't want to do this anymore because I cannot, right? But I think dealing with something new, something that you haven't done before, will create that feeling of not knowing, right? So can you tell us, when you have that tea with the imposter syndrome, what do you tell yourself? What do you reflect? Like, how do you rewire your brain? And maybe you do theta healing as well. Like, what's going on in that pause in the reframing the imposter syndrome?
Yeah, I observe what is going on, and I see like, okay, I'm doing this in this way. Perhaps I need a different way of doing it. So I take it also as a redirection. So I will not be forcing myself to be, we are human beings, not human doing.
Exactly.
This is something that I heard once, and it is sticking to my head because it's really a great reminder that we are not here just to do. As much as passionate it is, as long as it benefits the life of others, we need a rest.
We need rest.
Yeah. Yes. So I look at it, I say, okay, I'm not really passionate about that. And also like, we are channels, like we are being perceptive and receptive of ideas, of everything that is coming to us. And when we get like too much information, we receive like so much, and we need to apply all the things that we receive. Until we don't apply with everything, like we cannot jump into another thing. Yes. So I think the imposter syndrome comes also like as a reminder for me, hey, we want to keep helping you, but you need to slow down a little bit, or maybe change, or maybe end what you started a few weeks ago, or that project that you started, but you left it there. So it's like an organization. It's like me sitting with my team.
Yeah.
All the variants of myself, all my personalities, and organize like, okay, this comes first, this comes after.
Right. Thank you. That's funny because we had a last shooting, or the video recording we did is about guilt and rest. And one key insights that I found about the underdogs is we feel guilty of resting.
Yeah.
We don't give ourselves enough time to take a break, because maybe we still operate from this mindset, I need to keep fighting, because we're the underdog. We want to conquer the Goliath, we want to conquer the goals, we want to prove ourselves that we are this, we are that, we deserve this, we deserve that. Like, have you ever felt guilty of resting? Like how? Okay, can you tell us? Like, how do you heal that feeling of guilt? Like, how do you work with the feeling of guilt?
Yeah, it's one of the things that really requires attention, because imagine all of us, we have been listening that we are not good enough, that whatever we dream about, it's not going to happen.
Yes.
And you get into survival mode of, I need to do. If I am not doing, I'm not capable of receiving any gratification. And it's not even material or someone telling you. It's like you are demanding that from yourself. It's pretty crazy. And sorry, I forgot.
It's okay.
What I was going.
Survival.
Like a survival thing, no? Like nowadays, sometimes I catch myself. I notice that I am like just calm and relax, and I think, oh my God, I'm bored, I need to do something. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just calm. My mind, it used to be always in the survival mode, and now whenever I have a little time for relax, I'm like desperate, because I have the gap to fill. And this is like also as long as I don't have attachment right now, I used to be very attached to others' opinion, especially from the people that doubt about you. Not that I have to prove anything for them, but deeply inside, I feel that there is like, hey, you told me this, and look at me now, you know? So I think the way is to detach yourself for the opinion of others. And I think this is one of the jobs that the humanity is doing right now. Otherwise, everyone will be authentic and expressing themselves, and will not have like so many problems with identity and authenticity and self-expression in the world.
Right. So it's to listen to ourselves and not listen to what other people say about what we're doing. Right. So, okay.
But also sometimes, I like to say in Spanish, la mente miente.
The mind lies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not people judging you, it's you telling yourself that other people is judging you, but actually people is just busy with their lives.
Exactly. It's self-manipulation.
You are a busy person. You don't go through life like thinking, like everyone is having like their own life. So it's not about them. It's always about us.
Right.
Yeah.
So it reminds me again, it's all about, the work is really about us, self-discovery, self-awareness, self-knowledge, right? So I think we're nearing the end of this video, Jaconia. I think you really strike me as someone who embodied this value of wisdom, transformations, like love, healing. What about community? Who are your community? Who do you surround yourself with? Like, how do you how do you embrace community, or how do you utilize the power of community in your journey as being who you are today?
Yeah, I think community is a big part of my journey. But also, I like to think as community, as we nowadays, we tend to put targets and separate. This is the community of shamanism. This is the community of Burning Man. This is the community of something else. And for me, community is the common unity. The word itself, it's already saying it.
Yes.
So common unity, I don't need to be with a group of people to live,
to get the value
of what a community is, but it's actually like the feeling, the behaves and everything, like acting in a common unity. So I don't need to know someone to act as if I would be acting as a community. Everyone, like my community is human beings. So it's the whole, it's animals, it's existence. So I don't need to go somewhere to feel part that I belong in a community. I can literally feel that I belong anywhere. I think traveling helps you with that.
Right.
Because
and how many countries have you lived and visited?
Yeah, around 40, or more. And so I feel like, what is your community? Which community do you feel you belong? I say all of them. I can literally adapt to everything, because once you find this common unity,
which is with yourself,
which is yourself with existence, it's bigger than just a place with a few people. And I think once you embrace that, you spread community all over. It's not, I think it's beautiful to have a community that can support you. Like my environment, I love to be around my friends, of course, but I feel everyone can be like a master. Like sometimes you have like a ride with a taxi driver, and if you give yourself the time and and if you are present, you end up having an amazing conversation that you will never expect.
Right.
Or a cashier at the supermarket.
Right.
So I think my community is being present in the common unity that it's us with existence.
Wow, so deep, very philosophical, right?
I have never said that. I already forgot what I said.
So you're channeling now. You're like definitely a channel, a conduit of something.
Yes.
But that's very profound, because I myself reflecting on that, like when I didn't find myself, when I didn't belong to myself, I always search for this belonging elsewhere. Like, who are my people? I'm always scanning and then judging and then calibrating and analyzing who are my people. But now, as I began to heal myself and then find my own self, I'm like, I don't want to meet people sometimes. I just like find people that I vibrate with, that I connect with deeply in the present moment as I need.
Yeah.
As I live my life, as I'm being myself, right? And that's really life-changing for me. Like my concept back then, I'm always like, because I've been bullied or I've been discriminated, I always want to prove to them that like, hey, no, please accept me. Please like take you into your community so I can belong. But I think once you do the healing work to sort of find your own belonging, you can fit in anywhere.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone can be a source of inspiration.
Yeah.
It's not which group you belong, it's what you can give to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you are a unity already.
Mm-hmm.
So
I am unified. Common in unity community.
So you're gonna like interact with other people, and you're gonna bring your essence to these people.
Right.
Because I feel sometimes like community can also be like a separation. the world needs healing, but sometimes the way for it's not only, I mean, of course, I love going to retreats and everything, but sometimes they heal, like some people, they would not go for that.
Retreats, yeah.
They will not go. They will hear the word ayahuasca, they will scream, you know, or they will be afraid of that. And I think all those targets create separation. So, and we need unity. So for live in a common unity, we gotta remove the labels, the targets, and just embrace identities and embrace everyone. We can't forget that we are individuals. No, we live in a community. Life itself is a community. So if we go like just speaking, of course, when you want to have a great time, you're gonna be attract to people frequently, like in the same frequency. Yes. So that this is, you don't need to worry about that. It will come to you. Yes. And sometimes when you feel lonely, perhaps it's not because you are lacking a community. It's because maybe your soul wants to be with you, wants to spend time with you.
That's me.
And you are trying to find people.
So I recorded a video about this, that like loneliness comes from self-disconnection.
Yeah.
It's like because you forgot to connect with yourself, and then you realize you're constantly craving for the approval and validation from somebody else. And then you constantly perpetuate that feeling of, I need someone's love, I need someone's attention, I feel lonely. But of course, there's a different case of like acute loneliness that make people go into suicidal mode and all that. But like most of the times, the loneliness that I feel and a lot of people that I interview, it comes from they forgot to connect, to hang out with themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And that's something that another interview that we can allocate. So,
that's powerful.
Jaconia, as someone who transformed their life, right, and in a profound ways, both spiritually and professionally, like what's next for you and for Joa Models? Like, what legacy do you want to have in this world? Like, what excites you moving forward from now?
We want to expand our service, like for more countries, and recruit models from all over the world, and maybe not just guide them online, but also like create a space where models can come, be vulnerable, learn how to love themselves. I feel that at Joa, it will become like a school where people can come, and we never learn how to love ourselves. And I think this is one of the things that we need most in the world.
Yes.
And we want to expand that, grow the team, and bring like our values into more people.
Wow.
And as myself, I think my heritage, I want to be like reminded as a person that loves love.
Okay. You want to be remembered as a person who loves love.
Yes.
Okay, that's like means, very meta. Like,
yeah.
What does that mean?
But to love, it's to be, I mean, love with existence. You know, for me, like to be here is a gift. I cannot see any single thing. If I'm word is that, I know it hurts. I know it can be painful, but my life history has told me that suffering is a choice.
But pain is not. But you can choose to suffer or not.
You can choose to suffer, like whatever I'm going through, like I will feel it. I even have a playlist like music to help you cry, you know?
Yes.
So if I am down, I will go deeper, like I will go
to the bottom of the sadness.
Put it everything out, and then I will come back, renew.
Yes. Resilience. Yeah.
So pain perhaps is not a choice. It will be there. But the way you look at it, it is a choice.
Yeah.
Everything depends on us. And by being in love with love, your life just gets lighter. You are just an observer. You are not living life. You are letting life live through you. And everything becomes just, you find a harmony.
Yeah.
And I think this is what we need.
Wow.
Harmony with everything, like all the ingredients that life gives to us, they are all part of a harmony that is on our lives and in collectively.
So basically, what you're trying to do with this Joa Models agency is to create new agents of change in the model industry, right? Is to train them with this thing that you want to equip them with self-love and empowerment and authenticity, right? So you're helping the industry from within. Is that correct? Is that what you're
Yes.
trying to do now? It's like instead of complaining about the toxicity of the industry, you're solving the problems.
Exactly. Because
Right.
everything starts in here.
Right.
You know, if I can empower my models to be themselves, they will be aware of everything that is happening around them. They will not take things personally, even if they are. They will have a better understanding of what is this industry that they choose. It's not that someone is forcing them to do. It's someone that they choose. So what the job that you love, the job that you are passionate about can give you so much suffering if it's your choice.
Wow. So you really are changing the industry. Hopefully we will see more healed models.
Yes.
Modeling a different type of presence, different type of state of being, different type of look, and more inclusive and diverse model, right? More different type of embodiment, right? I think the model industry is just always either or. We don't see many of you. I mean, short people cannot be a model, right?
Exactly.
Like black people, I mean, they're only recently trendy. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, that's it. All right,
I
guys.
love it.
Thank you for tuning in with us. If you like this video, this content on what we just talked about, please share and comment your stories or thinking or feelings in the comment sections below and forward it to anyone who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe to the Wise Underdogs channel. See you soon in the next episode. Yay!
Amazing.